Now on 5, designers Colin and Justin are on hand to give Quentin some moral support, and he'll need it, as they look for Britain's worst home.
Hello! If there's one thing us Brits are good at, it's being bad at things. Time to meet the worst of the worst. A typical British street. Identical houses, identical roofs, walls, even the windows are the same. But inside, it's a different story. Every decision we make about colour, shape, style and space marks out our personalities in our homes. So what kind of personality lives in a house like this? We took a whirlwind tour of the nation and examined the hundreds of horror homes nominated by you. We've chosen 4 of the worst and bring you the design dingbats who live there.
What their homes say about them is frankly terrifying. Now, we could bulldoze the lot, but what we're going to do is be a bit more constructive. We're going to offer them 3 days of intensive challenges and workshops to improve their interior design.
We're also going to unleash 5's very own style stormtroopers, Justin and Colin.
That comedy wall of drawings by some nutter.
We're hoping that their unique brand of caustic criticism will help shame our homeowners into changing their ways.
I did try my best. It was like a dirty protest by the Hulk.
And with pitiless inevitability, the least improved homeowner will return to their hopeless hovel, doomed forever to live in Britain's worst home. Let's meet 'em.
Our first hideous home belongs to 39-year-old Julia. She is to interior design what I am to dancing. Her tireless collecting of tat means that her cluttered Cornish home is more boot sale than cosy cottage.
I get bored quite easily with all the same style, so, you know, I buy bits and pieces. You know, I can't stick with one thing.
Her decorating dementia has left future son-in-law Mark desperate.
She just gets an idea in her head from somewhere, and next thing you know, it's up on the wall and on the ceiling and on the floor and wherever she can put it.
Julia's a part-time laundry worker and spends 50% of her hard-earned on rubbish like this DVD cabinet and the dodgy dragon table.
I just had to have it. I just loved it. It was big, bold, bright. And to me, it was a real dragon, because some dragons you do see, they're more lizardy.
As well as her appalling accessorising, Julia has inflicted the full force of her delinquent design skills on just about every available square inch of wall space.
The people in this area, there's all like late middle-aged people all trying to retire, and then all of a sudden you've got someone like Julie who does that to her house, and it's just horrendous.
But her finest work lives behind this door.
Hello? This is my ocean-themed bathroom.
A cutting-edge design that mixes electricity with water. Nice.
Switch me on, please.
It's just not right. I said something has got to be done to stop her doing this sort of thing. It's embarrassing.
I don't really care what other people think. That's me, you know.
And so to Margaret, whose home is a right royal tip. 2 decades of collecting anything to do with royalty has left Margaret's North London semi looking like a market stall for monarchy memorabilia.
Oh, jeez. It's a nightmare. I really couldn't even guess how much is really there.
Everywhere you look, there's one or other member of the royal family.
This is where you shake hands with the Queen.
You have to wear a black glove and you have to wave. This doll, the Queen saw him and she said if he had a voice box, that would be William.
But even fellow royalists aren't convinced. This doll is just one of the reasons why friend Valentine has had enough.
I hope Prince William can forgive me for saying this, but I had to ask her, what's that doll? It's Prince William, and what?
Divorcee Margaret's obsessive collecting got out of control when the last of her children left home. She's filled her floor space, crammed the garage, built an extension just for Diana items, and even cleared out all family photos to make way for royal ones.
My children actually do make noises every so often about, oh yes, comments have been made.
Margaret's home is now devoid of all other aspects of her personality, but even she admits to occasional lapses of terrible taste. But she does have her limits. Out of respect, she's chosen to keep her own throne room a royalty-free zone.
No, it gets tacky then.
Time to visit Julian in Sheffield.
What's he got in his house? Computers, computer parts, the mouses, the keyboards, the monitors, magazines, models. Keeps on mounting up, and it's like all this stuff will be moved in and he'll end up moving out.
I don't like throwing things away because there's always a use for something. Why should I throw perfectly good things away? I hate it when people throw them away.
In the 10 years that unemployed bachelor Julian has lived in his two-bed abode, he's not so much as opened a paint tin, which is why it looks like a landfill site.
Oops.
Julian's untroubled by worries of decoration and design. Sister Laura is quietly horrified.
When he first moved into it, I think he did have an intention on getting it right and getting it modern, and I think he's just let that idea slip, really.
And before you ask, yes, this really is his bedroom. Julian rarely throws anything out and seems to have cornered the market in empty cardboard boxes and broken computers.
You don't need so many computer parts. I'm sorry.
I do, because you never know. If I took some bits away, I might want them bits.
Yeah, all right, you might need some bits away, but why not keep 2 or 3, not 5 or 6 or 7?
Because I might need 5, 6 or 7.
He needs to start settling down, and he needs to get his house nice so that he can, because he'll just scare people off living like that.
Three domestic disaster zones and still one more to go. And that one really is scary.
Welcome back to Britain's worst home. So far we've showed you 3 horrendous houses. Julia's stylistic blindness has left her with a home full of kitsch like this and this. Mad monarchist Margaret is more interested in photos of the royal family than her own family. And serial hoarder Julian has surrounded himself with hundreds of empty cardboard boxes. Nothing I could say would prepare our experts Justin and Colin for what awaits them.
But we've got one more hapless homeowner to meet, and I warn you, she's got a house of horrors.
A perfectly normal-looking suburban semi. You'd be forgiven for thinking that some tasteless teenager or unsanitary students live here. But no, it's home to 34-year-old mother of 3, Nicola. She's still proud to be a goth.
My house isn't for anybody. Most people would not be able to handle living in a house like this.
Taking centre stage in Nicola's house of horrors is her worrying collection of gothic dolls, hung like corpses on the walls.
Most people like cute porcelain type dolls, but I don't do cute.
Voluntary worker Nicola's morbid taste in interiors has left some neighbours reluctant to come round for tea.
We had a residents' association meeting here one night and we've not had them here since.
Bob is the chairman of the Residents' Association. He's so convinced this is Britain's worst home that he's reluctantly agreed to walk us through the weirdness.
I mean, what on earth is the attraction in that? That is just something else. I mean, if that was mine, I would think it's already in the coffin, I'd go and bury it in the garden. I mean, it's disgusting, isn't it? Look, it's just... I mean, why can't they just have normal things? Maybe a nice clock or, you know, some sort of like brass things.
When Nicola's not giving the neighbours nightmares, she's painting more bad dreams on her walls.
When I first moved in here, I didn't like any of the colours in any of the rooms, and the toilet in particular was painted pink and flowery. I decided to get a tub of paint out, and I had a large tub of black paint.
For Bob, it's one morbid mural too many.
I think I'd go to the toilet down the garden rather than face the fear of going into that bathroom.
Nicola, hello and welcome. What a lovely bag.
We've brought our 4 homeowners to London to give them some lessons in design, as well as to try to understand why their stylistic skills are so, well, shoddy. But first,
we're trying to find out exactly how bad our stylistically challenged quartet really are. We're going to put them through a taste test.
This design boutique is stuffed with kitsch, knick-knackery and style icons. Our protagonists must choose the 3 items they like the most. Experts Justin and Colin will try and analyse what their taste says about them. Will they go for pieces like this George Nelson atom clock, Philip Stark juicer, or these baleful booby traps we've mischievously included? Margaret hoovers up so much royal tat there's not even room for one family photo back home. Can she break free of her obsession and choose something normal?
What are these? Can you put your own photos in? That's a nice idea, isn't it?
Now look, that is something really, really out there, really funky and modern, isn't it?
I've got some slides from the Charles and Diana's wedding and Fergie and Andrew's wedding. I could make a nice display without...
Royal slides.
And this as well.
Oh no, she's going for it.
This is from, these 2 are from the Queen's Golden Jubilee.
Why? Why them? In that whole shop, would you go for them?
I haven't got either of those 2 actually, so yes, I would like to add those to my collection.
I mean, there's a wisdom in it. There's a really kind of perverse wisdom in the fact that she has a focus.
Candles I like very much. They're very popular at the moment, and this is a very nice royal colour.
Anything that looks like it's remotely regal, that is what she's going to stick out, which is a shame because there's so many great things. You know, what's wrong with her own individuality? Be yourself, Margaret.
Do you know, I think initially you might think Margaret's a lost cause, but I think there's always got to be room for improvement. We just need to show her how to stop theming and having every single aspect of royal memorabilia, and we need to show her how to tailor in design terms. She'll be difficult, but I think we can do it.
Julia's not short of ideas. Trouble is, they're always awful and she never sees them through. What will Justin and Colin make of her taste?
Oh, it's all a bit gimmicky.
Come on, girl, let's find out what you like. She's going to go for the really brightly coloured stuff, isn't she?
You don't know, it's a unique opportunity. Maybe we should go against everything.
But I do like that bubble with the lights.
Bottle, liking that, liking the bubble. Yep, touching it, stickered it.
You don't like that? That's horrendous.
I do like that. I think it's really interesting.
It's like a huge sample sitting there,
it's a design
bubbling
classic.
away. It's
a
vile.
design classic.
That table. Again, it's just the reflections of the light.
Sticker, yes, come on.
And it's different.
We had the best
Stick
choice.
it onto the table.
And it's practical. I could actually use that.
Yay! Thank goodness for that.
The roses, I like the roses down there. Oh, it's lights as well. Lovely. I like lights.
Plug in roses. Yep, yellow stickers.
I mean, that's the changing rooms thing, isn't it? Let's put some fairy lights up and suddenly it's romantic. She's like a magpie. There's no cohesion there. There wasn't a link between any of the pieces.
She just needs to learn to tailor her ideas, and rather than having everything, have a little less. Cue our mistress of doom, the bride of Frankenstein. Come on in.
Nicola's house is so like a mortuary it scares small children. Could this be the moment when her mask of horror slips?
What are you going to choose, Mrs.?
Now, you see, that I wouldn't have. I don't like these designer touches. Not for me. Now, that I would have. That is more my style.
It's quite an unusual choice, isn't it?
It's quite kind of decorated and it's not her colour scheme.
I love these books. These are lovely.
That feels like a nice quality bit. Yeah, that is something you would want in your house. Yeah, it's very good. It's good in the finger. It's very tactile. It looks great, and the lacquer is just incredible, isn't it?
See a Victorian hand running across the top.
Stick of that, baby.
Go on.
Yeah. Have to be another one?
She's doing all right, actually.
Now, I suppose if we are having a rug in the house, that is lovely. I think this will have to be my last choice. The big black furry rug.
I think what we've got here is somebody who has got potential. She's got a very strong idea of what she likes and what she doesn't like, and that's really good for us. But we're going to try and educate her. She's not quite halfway to good taste, but we'll tip her into the right edge of that. Ready? Does the eyebrows. Go on, baby.
And finally, Julian, who lives in a sty.
Nice, that's a nice ball.
Oh,
no.
The glassware, mirrors. Yep, I like that one.
Look, the vainest man in the world. He's
Mirror,
going to buy a
mirror
mirror.
on the wall.
Of course he's going to buy a mirror. Go and stick in it. Do you know why he bought that? Because he liked his reflection.
Oh, yes, one of these. That one. I like that one.
What is that?
It's a book, a notebook. What's he buying a notebook for?
I could keep plenty of girls' phone numbers in there.
Oh, do you know...
Handy size. It's a nice colour. It's got a nice texture to it. I like that one. Yay! I like that.
It's just exasperating.
It is. It's so stylish. It's just me. Very nice.
I mean, he's just so complex.
Very
You know, I mean, this is a man who lives with cardboard boxes and computers, and yet he comes into a store like this and he picks a little notebook. I mean, a little kind of little girly kind of notebook. He is unfathomable. I have not got a clue. I don't know anything about his taste. I actually know less now than I did 10 minutes ago.
I feel very, very confused. I can't imagine that it's going to be easy to change Julian, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited by the challenge.
So now they know what they're up against, it's time for Justin and Colin to get stuck in.
Now, at home, you're a real collector. I'm saying collector as a euphemism. I think actually, sir, you're a hoarder.
Why do you need all these cardboard boxes?
Because they're good boxes.
So what do you use all these boxes for?
You've got me on that one.
Exactly.
But the thing is, well, if they're not useful, then what you have to do, if you like you love these boxes because of their use, don't you? Because they're perfectly designed to facilitate something. So you have to give them to someone who will use them.
Margaret, what do you think of the fact that he hoards everything? You won't even throw away an envelope or a cardboard box. What do you think of that?
I know, it's bad, but I do it as well. I've got about 20,000 cuttings on the royal family. I've got 4 rooms of memorabilia, and I've got 1 chair that I sit on. That's all I've got left now.
It would surely have been better for you to take it a step further and to create something that was of the same mood as the palace, rather than try and do something that's like a palatial theme park. I mean, imagine you had to live there. Imagine you had to live in this royal museum, sir.
No, too much cleaning, too much clutter, everything around, piled up.
Too much clutter. You are saying someone else is too much clutter. But you, I think, take the biscuit. You have this morbid fascination with death.
What is your reasoning behind wanting to have all that around about you? Because I like beautiful things.
I don't think I've ever sat down and thought, why? It's just something that I like.
See, I think the thing that lets you down is you're too literal. It's like the changing rooms generation, where we think about themes, and themes are not design. You don't have to put in little comedy coffins and things to illustrate that. You can be more intelligent, because you do have a really strong idea about what you like.
I think everybody, to a certain extent, has got a passion about something, but I think the difference with us is we like to show it in everything we do.
We're actually proud of what we've got, so whoever nominated us for bad taste is tough, isn't it? We're quite proud of it.
Oh dear, with comments like that, it might seem rash to give our homeowners these. Never mind, allow them near someone else's wall. But that's exactly what we're going to do. We want them to break out of their bad habits by designing a room for someone else. Unsurprisingly, we've had a shortage of volunteers. So we've strong-armed this sweet old lady. And before you ring in, it won't be her house. That really would be cruel. Vivian will merely supply a brief for our homeowners to interpret here. Their nominators can help, and they can choose from a selection of paint and furnishings. Vivian wants a cosy oasis that's elegant and comfortable, with an emphasis on space and light.
Are we got to do that?
Yes. Oh dear. Right. Okay, let's go. So, to begin, what do our dodgy decorators consider cosy colours?
Dark green, then a lighter green, then even a lighter one, so it's got different shades, different depth. Come on, watch this. I know what I'm doing, sis. Watch this.
Scary stuff, but it's all under the beady gaze of our design experts.
It's not rocket science, it's simply about satisfying the client brief and making it a room that can be lived in. I mean, these, after all, are living rooms. You can't go wrong.
Would you, for instance, paint murals on the walls? Would you use bright colours? Would you use bright rugs?
I think because of the brief, it has to be quite, quite neutral. But then you can actually add colour through your choice of accessories. And I think it's going to be quite nice if you get into kind of soft yellows, maybe even kind of like a few reds in there, or some jewel colours that actually do add a bit of sparkle. Jewel colours. I like a bit of sparkle.
A bit of glamour does you no harm, Quentin. What would you know, meanwhile, in your lovely flowers?
We would just stick to cars, OK?
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Fabulous.
Not everyone's getting it.
Why are we painting it armoured car green?
No, that's not right. No, we're not.
It is. I mean, if you were painting a tank, Margaret, you would paint it that colour, not a
brownie.
Yes. Okay, are you colourblind?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
no.
fine.
The exercise of empathising with someone else's design needs seems to be having the desired effect on some of our patients.
It's instantly warm. As soon as I look at that wall, it's like instantly warm. It's cosy, it's nice. I love it.
It's a lot better than what I've ever seen at a house before. I mean, to me, it's a warm, welcoming, fresh colour.
And miraculously, Paint Everything Black Nicola seems to be changing the habit of a lifetime and creating that oasis of calm.
It's not your taste that you're doing here. This is somebody else's taste that you're decorating for them.
It's not red and it's not black and there's no bats to be seen, so I think there is some progress.
But not next door. Julian's never painted a wall in his life, and 40 minutes later he hasn't started here either. Sister Laura's getting emotional.
Sis, right, you get a darker colour, get a darker one.
Julian, you're going to end up concentrating on that one wall. What about them two?
Laura, trust me, we'll do a lighter one down here, then you do the darker one there, and I'll meet in the middle.
Hello. Paint, don't fight.
Yes, get painting.
Well, he's concentrating on one wall.
We'll do one wall at a time. I do the lighter colour, you do the darker colour.
You've got 20 minutes.
Get that lid and stop talking then. Get doing it, sister. Women.
Now. You're supposed to be having fun, design, creativity.
I'm not. Come on, sis. You love me. I love you.
Well, stop shouting at me.
I'm sorry.
I've had more decorating experience than what you have. You're concentrating on one bloody wall. You've got 3 walls to do.
Yeah, you've wasted 5 minutes. You get a darker colour and I'll meet you in the middle.
With work in all 4 rooms finally underway, it's only a matter of time before our tasteless team get arty. After the break, those little touches that mean so much.
It's a Greek god.
And the verdict from Vivian.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
These 4 homes have been nominated as the worst in Britain. We're giving their owners a crash course in good taste, but by the end of the show, one of them will go back to a home that's officially the worst of the worst. Yesterday, we put them through a taste test, and Justin and Colin found them wanting.
Oh, it's lights as well. Lovely. I like lights.
I mean, that's the changing rooms thing, isn't it? Let's put some fairy lights up and suddenly it's romantic.
After some strong advice on their failings, today we've challenged our quartet to design a living room for this old dear. Vivian wants a cosy oasis that's elegant and comfortable with lots of space and light. Work is well underway. Our titans of taste are in charge of design while their nominators provide the muscle. We're lucky to have anything at all from Julian. It took him 40 minutes to put paint to wall. His sister Laura is close to despair.
Paint, don't fight.
Yes, get painting.
Well, he's concentrating on one wall.
Do one wall at a time. I do the lighter colour, you do the darker colour.
Now it's time for those all-important details that could transform Vivian's room. What do our experts suggest?
Well, our key word at the moment is circulation. It's a room around which people should be able to move comfortably. You should be able to get from the sofa to the window really easily. You don't need to overstuff rooms, and we live in a world that are obsessed with getting as much into the space as possible. So what we're hoping to find today is that the rooms aren't going to be overstuffed.
I think the good thing is to actually try and treat your space like an art gallery. Yeah. When you go to an art gallery, everything is kind of individually displayed so you can appreciate the beauty of it. You know, it's like you've got Naomi Campbell there. She walks into a white room. She's a beautiful girl. You can stand there and gaze at it and take in the true beauty. I'm sure you would, Quentin. But shove her in a room with 16,000 other supermodels and she's going to get lost. Space is important.
Overstuffing is the least of our problems because now our budding Llewellyn Bowens have decided to personalise their paintwork. Nicola's rag rolling is a refreshing change from her malevolent murals at home. Mark nominated Julia because her ideas are ill-considered. I hope there's a very good reason for that bland beige border.
I'm not 100% sure of the colour, but it'll have to do.
After a slow and emotional start, Julian's progressed from his original choice of green to another hue of, well, green.
Julian, I'm worried that you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah, but it's not
I'm trying my best, though.
I know you're trying your best, Joe, but listen to me. Green is light and spacious. Green is enclosing.
Margaret and her nominator Valentine seem to be recreating a crime scene. Julian's adding paint effects in green.
It's not that bad. What?
It's a Greek god.
It was meant to be a Greek god, but we haven't much time to work on it.
And now on to furnishings and fabrics.
Seems like a daft question. How are they doing? Not well.
How are they doing? I mean, should we start at the top and work
Let's
our way
start
down?
at Julian, where it looks like a paint pot has just exploded. All he's managed to do is just use green wherever he can.
It's haphazard. It doesn't have cohesion, and yet he's managed to focus on one word, and that is oasis, and that's probably his reason for all these greens. But I mean, to relax in that room, you would need a triple vodka with oasis.
To have done what he's done in there is tantamount to decorating and design disaster.
Okay, then on to Julia, who I'm really, really disappointed with because it's just bland, it's boring, and she's looked at it and thought, this is too bland, I'm going to put a zebra skin rug on the floor and everything will be all right.
Exactly. See, that is Julia to a T. She's all about not being confident enough in one area to follow that baton and finish it off. So she's painted the darker colour at the top. The marriage of those two shades isn't the strongest partnership.
There's no forward planning.
Which brings us on to Margaret.
The thing about that room is that mural. Whatever else she had done to the room, it was always going to be completely obliterated and completely overpowered by the comedy mural at the side.
Which you get for 1 second.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny for that, and then it's just a tragedy for the rest of your life.
It's a one-trick pony which ruins the room, it overwhelms the room.
Which brings us on to Nicola.
Oh, hurrah!
Who, I'm sorry, there's a transformation there. This woman likes dungeon black, and she has produced a room which actually I want to go in, sit down, and relax. It's great.
She's been completely 100% altruistic in her design. She's given the client exactly what they want. It's cozy, it's comfortable, it feels elegant, the colour scheming works together. She's got gold, she's got reds, rich crimsons, damsons, all those colours are really secure, homely, satisfying colours. She's hit the nail on the head.
So, just enough time to garnish their rooms with some finishing touches before our partially sighted designers hear the final verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your client. This is Vivian.
First up, Julia's effort.
So, client, is this a relaxing haven for you?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay.
It may be very tiny, but I like a lot of space. And I get a feeling of space in here. And relaxation. Yes. Yes, I like it. Very much indeed.
time for Margaret's room.
Have they listened to what you told them?
I'm not quite sure that they have. Not quite sure that they have.
I'm not sure either, no.
No.
So this is not the relaxing oasis
No.
of calm that you wanted?
It's too hot.
Okay,
Too
good.
hot. That's more for a children's room. It's not for an elegant sitting room.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Next, Julian's, oh dear.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't know what that is there, really, what's it supposed to represent, but it does nothing for me at all. And I'm sorry, but this is a sort of green that turns me off. It really does.
Well, don't you like the way I've captured the essence and the three-dimensional way it stands out?
No, I'm sorry, I don't see that at all.
Don't you?
No.
I'm with Vivian.
No.
I'm sorry. It's just all gone horribly wrong, hasn't it? It's the green hurricane.
It's different.
Vivian, do you think it's remotely restful, calming, peaceful, or an oasis?
No, I think I would have nightmares in this room.
I'd
I'm
lose the
sorry.
will to live, if you want me to be perfectly
Oh,
frank.
well, yes, well, no, I couldn't live with this at all.
However, Julian's nominator, Laura, would I think like to apologise to you personally, would you not?
I am extremely sorry for the state of this room because this is just terrible. I absolutely agree with you and I'm so sorry for him doing it.
And finally, Nicola's.
Oh, I think a lot of thought's gone into it, particularly with that wall there. I mean, that really does take my eye. I love what you've done with that. Yes, you have thought hard, and the red is a good colour to go with that, certainly. I think you know, I would award you 8 out of 10 for effort. Definitely, because you have tried. You've really tried.
With just one challenge to go, time and hope is running out for our owners' homes. Best unleash Justin and Colin.
You got it so wrong.
Open, relaxing, warm.
It wasn't relaxing. You over-egged it. It's like your house. One computer is a beautiful piece. Let's add 400 computers. One shade of green. If you sat down there and thought, yeah, green is a relaxing colour, I'm going to paint it in a single shade, then great. It might have worked, you would have loved it, but you decided to go
darker corner.
overboard, splash, splash, splash. It was like a dirty protest by the Hulk.
Didn't you think the greens went, the light green and the dark green? Didn't you think they complemented each other?
No, because what we're looking for as designers is contrast. Do you know, you want something that's got a bit of visual impact, and it didn't have that. But it's not all lost because you've still got the next stage. So, have you learned anything from today?
People don't like the way I did it, so I've got to listen more. Listen.
I think you've got to look at why you're here. You're here because someone said that your home is the worst home in Britain. And
I want to change that.
You want to change that, so you just get, so history can't repeat itself. You can't be given something as great as a blank canvas and free range and just recreate exactly what you do at home. You have a unique opportunity to change your thinking.
Today you got lucky. Vivian loved what you did, but I think simply you happened haphazardly to stumble across something she liked because you put the room together quite quickly and you didn't always match your colours and then you worried about it afterwards. Do you think that's a fair appraisal? You got lucky?
I think I did get lucky. I was a bit worried about a few things because I'm an impatient person. I like to just get it done as soon as possible. If the look's good, then great. If it's not, then tough. Yeah.
So that if you approach something tomorrow, maybe you'll think, well, I'm not going to rush into this. I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
And I've got 4 words for you. Restraint before you paint. Now, Nicola, you are a real mystery to me because you are the mistress of all things decoratively dark and gloomy. Yet you created today an absolutely perfect room that was very, very different to what you are.
I think if I'd have created a room that was entirely my taste, it would have frightened her off.
Yeah.
So I had to think, well, what colours can I use and what is available?
You have a method, you have a thinking behind it, you've demonstrated that you can cope with a brief and create something for someone else. And I actually think that you have actually got it right. So Margaret, how was today for you?
I thought it was fabulous. I enjoyed it very much. I don't do painting and I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
We can see you don't do painting. Blimey! That comedy wall of drawings by some nutter.
Come on, be honest, were you pleased with the results?
Well, I wasn't pleased with the...
Come on,
princess.
Not really,
Come on, princess.
Because I don't think we gave ourselves enough time to do it, or we weren't given enough time to do it. I would have liked to have spent longer on it and, you know, jazzed it up a bit.
Don't blimey, I could think of other things to do with it.
Can you promise us 2 things?
I'll try.
1, that you will take on board that less can be more.
Yes.
And 2, that you won't do any more cave paintings.
No.
Oh, baby, and you'll always be our favourite regal princess. Yay!
On to the home straight, if you'll pardon the pun. The start of day 3 and the final challenge. Our inmates have no idea where they're going or what they'll be doing, but I am going to give them a tiny clue.
All right, we're going to central London. And I warn you, people may point and laugh.
This last challenge will prove if 3 days intensive training has made a blind bit of difference. It's their biggest test yet. London's West End and Britain's most glamorous shopping centre. This is home to some of the most original, creative and well-designed window displays in the world. We've got 4 empty windows on world-famous Carnaby Street and 4 design dimwits to dress them. This enterprise will test everything they've learnt about space, colour, harmony and design. If they can prove to us that they now have a talent for taste, then surely there's hope for their homes.
So here we go. Margaret, pick a card. Okay. Julia. Nicola. Julian. Right, okay. Right, what do you got? The seasons. These cards determine the themes you're going to have to carry out in your windows, which you're going to design. You have 1 hour to do it. You are on public view. And one final but very important point is you have to be part of the design.
You're evil. You're evil, you really are.
Fortunately for Margaret, we won't be testing DIY skills. No, the roller doesn't go over the handle. What's the point? But we do need proof that they've taken on board something, anything, of Justin and Colin's advice. Winter?
Christmas.
What if I said to you, Margaret, that less is more?
I know, but Santa Claus is for children.
No,
children like bright colours.
Margaret, answer the question. Yes, less is more.
Yes, I know.
And this is not less.
No, it's not less, it's colourful for children.
So do you think you've learnt anything in the last couple of days? I mean, I'm looking here, Margaret, and with the nicest possible way, I'm saying I'm not sure you've retained much.
No, in the nicest possible way. They should do something about winter. I'll do something about Father Christmas.
Okay, here we are in the summer room. Julie looks to me like she's painting a children's bedroom. Is this a nursery?
No, it's supposed to be sea and sun, happy, lazy days.
Oh, a holiday on the beach. Ah, okay, fine.
This is me. This
More
is
restraint, less pain, Julie.
I really am trying, but it's so difficult to get not to go mad because this is me.
Julian, I have to say that this does look like someone has been murdered after a brief struggle. Well, at least we're not just doing it in the one colour, which is a plus.
But can't you feel the warmth?
No, Julian. All I can feel is the hate. Okay, first thing I have to say, Nicola, apart from what is going on, is there a small crowd is gathering outside, wondering what's happening here.
Well, I've been given spring, which is probably the worst possible thing I could get. It's every colour I hate. It's pastels. It's bright.
So that's why then, Nicola, you're painting some form of gravestone here.
You got it in one. Well, I had to do spring in a graveyard if I can't bring anything else of me into it because it's colours I hate.
Spring in a graveyard?
Why not?
No, the question is why? After the break, our window dressers get the benefit of Justin and Colin's tough love.
You look at that and there's only one thing you can deduce.
She's a crazy lady.
That Margaret is on serious medication.
Yes.
And one of these sultans of style will be returning unreformed to Britain's worst home. We've taken 4 of Britain's worst homeowners and using expert guidance tried to improve their shabby style.
got 4 words for you. Restraint before you paint.
Their final challenge is to dress these shop windows on world-famous Carnaby Street with a seasonal theme. It's their last chance to show what they've learned about colour, space and good design. Now, before you judge too harshly, this is work in progress. Winter? Summer? Autumn? And spring? We'd hoped Nicola would ditch the dungeon darkness of home, but sadly not. Neighbour Bob is gutted.
This is the true Nicola coming back out again. It's such a shame.
Less is more was Justin and Colin's counsel to Margaret. Does friend Valentine think she's listened?
Bless her soul, she's trying. She's trying.
You're not answering the question. No, is the
answer.
No.
Julia's nominator Mark has had to return home, probably just as well, but Laura can see some progress in her brother Julian's autumnal display.
It looks like he's enjoying himself though.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself.
I wouldn't say it's brilliant, but he's trying.
But it's not quite over yet. Our 4 still have to select props to dress their windows. Oh, and remember, they also have to be part of the tableau.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, your hour is up. Come on, come on, come on. You need to now go into your windows and be interactive.
Justin and Colin have been desperately trying to educate our homeowners. Their advice to impatient Julia was to show some restraint before she paints.
I mean, at least it's recognisable, and maybe actually Julia had actually sat down and thought about the colour combination and planned it in advance.
I guess it works, Colin, but have we moved on really? Have we really looked at the bigger picture, or are we just going for the easy option? And I think kind of gone for the easy option in here.
The lads praise Nicola's previous efforts, but she's not ready to give up the goth just yet. And bizarrely, it's almost winning them over.
I think over the last few days she's actually come into her own. I think she has her own style.
Yeah,
it's not our taste, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, hello.
Morning in there,
hello,
afternoon
Nicola.
in there, looking fabulous. Liking it so far, Papa?
It's very you.
Yes.
After yesterday's decorating debacle, Julian was told to pay more attention to the brief, in this case, his autumnal theme.
Now, come on, now, this is a big surprise.
Yes. Do you know what he's done? He's moved it on.
Do you know what? Yesterday, it was totally haphazard. There was no rhyme or reason to anything. Today, it's literal, but...
He sat down after the shame of yesterday.
The shame!
And he's planned it out.
And finally, Margaret the Monarchist's Winter Wonderland, complete with her beloved Prince William doll.
What's the storyline here?
Do you know what? You look at that and there's only one thing you can deduce.
She's a crazy lady.
That Margaret is on serious medication.
Yes.
Honestly, and I think it's kicked in.
Now, summer umbrella, the parasol in the winter scene, which doesn't make any sense. And a bay tree.
No, look at this. If Margaret blows these bubbles, this is care in the community. This is it.
Hey! Do it, missus.
Come on, baby.
Do the bubble.
So, as our hopeless householders brazen out their highly public design statements, it's now time to decide who will return to Britain's worst home. We started with a demonstration of dire dwellings.
Look, I mean, those dragons.
It's kitsch.
And having taken our owners away from their atrocious abodes, we saw the awful glory of their terrible taste.
No redeeming virtues whatsoever.
At times, our advice has been heeded and we've seen some improvement.
I mean, yesterday he was a delinquent, today he's a designer.
Alternatively,
Honestly.
he could be taking us all in.
But there's robust evidence to suggest that at least one of our 4 is still capable of committing stylistic suicide at home.
So here is the huge question. Are we agreed on the worst?
Categorically.
Yes, I think
it's obvious, don't you?
As the nose on my face. So, let's start with some recognition for the one who's improved the most. Now, there is a person who we all thought mediocre in every possible way when it came to taste and style and discrimination. But I think it's fair to say today that person has turned things round and surprised us all. And that person is Julian. Really? Despite wearing that shirt. An emotional moment, everybody.
Thank you, sis.
Julian, here are £500 of home improvement vouchers courtesy of Focus DIY. Let's see it improve. Yes?
I promise.
He promises. Okay, so here it is. There's no way I can put this off any longer. There's no way we can hide from it. We will now tell you who lives in Britain's worst home. And that person really, we've tried very, very hard. We have absolutely deluged them with every possible design tip imaginable. Told them about form, about harmony, about shape, where to put things, about clutter, and it's just gone whoo. We firmly believe that person will not change. The person who lives in Britain's worst home is Margaret, my dear. Margaret was originally nominated because the sheer quantity of royal rubbish in her house left no room for her. We tried to deprogram her obsessive collecting, and this is what she came up with. Margaret, we salute your recycling of royalty. Since appearing in our honours list, Margaret's grudgingly made space for the odd family photo. And it looks like Julian is well on the road to a life free from cardboard.
Next Sunday, Quentin continues with his list of worsts, and this time it's the neighbours from hell. Next tonight, our Arnie season continues with The Running Man.